Previously on the Faizal Sayed Show.
So, if there was something, if she was listening to you right now, what did you say?
Wow.
I know it's a difficult one, but
I've never
it's
been
very
asked that
interesting.
question. Wow. I'm so thankful.
Nothing is coincidence. That question that Faizal asked is not coincidence.
I think the studio has experienced a bit of an emotional roller coaster. Hello and welcome back. Now, if you recall on yesterday's episode, we had Shahieda Van Der Schyff here, and she spoke about a very inspiring story, something that was very emotional for us in the studio and very emotional for her. And one other person that was in the audience was Nadia Jacobs, who we were talking about and now sort of sits in that gap as and is called mother. Although Shahieda says that nobody can replace a biological mother, and we understand that. But at the same time, life goes on and people fill gaps so that you can live a life that is compounded by the interest of other people around you. And so you make a success through all of that. So Nadia Jacobs is here. She's going to tell us the other side of the story. Nadia, welcome back.
Thank you.
Now, I know that you watched yesterday's episode and there were lots of emotions in that show. And Shahieda went on to tell it all as it happened. The emotions were there. And I know that you were in the audience and you felt that along with her. But I wanted today to talk about how that relationship has developed further on. But again, I need to start on the back end of that. And a starting question for me would be, when she came to you and said that you're the person in the dream, how did you deal with that? What was your first thoughts about that?
It happened telephonically, you know, and all I remember about it, I already had a relationship with her as my child. So it wasn't that relationship wasn't there before.
Now you get people that are close to you.
Yes.
But then you're saying that you considered her to be a child. What was that? What defined that?
I think it was just natural. It just happened. She spoke yesterday about the fact that we might have met somewhere before. We might have been together in a previous life. That's definitely there. Definitely. What I felt was after the phone call, she told me exactly what she dreamed. I was happy. I put the phone down and the hair stood up at the back of my neck and I just sobbed. I sobbed and I sobbed and I sobbed to think, because I never looked at Shahieda in a way that she's got a mom that's out there in heaven somewhere. I never looked. I knew her story, took her like my child, but it all just happened naturally. There was no like Shahieda was out there looking for a mum or anything. We got together, she did some holistic treatment on me, reflexology, everything else, and we chatted, and I just fell in love with her as my daughter.
But you said the hair stood on you. Where? On your back or in?
On my neck. It just stood because I actually put, this girl has a mom that's somewhere up in heaven that I took as a daughter, and to me it felt like she's given affirmation that I can carry on and be her mom. If that makes sense to you, I don't know if that makes any sense.
Do you feel that that was actually, so we had the relationship, but do you feel that that moment was the green light moment for you?
Definitely the green light moment. It was more like I had a sense of a mom being around, which I never had before. I always knew her mom passed away. For me, her mom is in heaven, and but I never felt the sense of her until that day, I felt the sense of her mom being around.
Now, if we go one step back into your history as an individual, we also know that you grew up without your mother.
Yeah.
Do you think that played a role in the easy attachment to Shahieda?
Yes, it does.
A sense of not wanting to repeat history, or fill a gap that maybe wasn't filled on your side?
I think I have the constant need to do that, to not have anybody out there, to not have a sense of belonging, because you know what it feels like not to belong. So I just, and I don't do it, like I don't stand on the road and, oh, where's the person? I think it also comes to me. You know, I think there is, God has a mysterious way in working, that nothing is coincidence. And I think these things are brought to me for a reason, because I think Allah knows that I will know how to comfort and fill that gap for certain people.
Now for our viewers' purpose, you are the mother, the biological mother of Mushra.
Yes.
Our presenter of Modest Meals.
Yes.
And Mushra is your biological child.
Yes, my eldest daughter.
Great, yes. And now you've got Shahieda, and I know that you've added on some others there. The feeling when you think about buying something for your daughter, you walk into a shop and like, I'm going to buy something for my daughter or my child.
Yeah.
Is that feeling spread equally?
Yes.
I find that fascinating.
Yeah, because there's grandchildren, there's, you might see something and you say, oh, I like this is nice. Which one? Who will it fit? Okay, it will maybe fit the 5-year-old. Okay, next time you walk into the shop, you find something else for the older children. So there's no segregation where you, and I always tell my kids, if I buy for the one and not the other, remember tomorrow you are going to get something else. Because you buy for that person at that moment and what their needs or what you think they'll like. Yeah. But I love shopping though. You need to remember that, Faizal. So I find excuses to go and buy things.
So we find a situation where Shahieda comes into your life and that dream happens somewhere down the line. And after that, you feel that the affirmation is there from a spiritual point of view and from a physical point of view, because the two are going hand in hand and they're creating this very deep bond.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about that bond specifically. Now leaving the other children aside, Shahieda herself. Yeah. Where do you put her on the spectrum, and what's your thoughts about her? Does a part of you feel sorry for her, or does a part of you say that this was just my job?
The first thing that I feel for Shahieda, and she knows that because I've reminded her not too long ago, she did the Factory Shop Expo. My first thought of her is I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of her, where she's come from, what she's been through, her achievements, how hard she works and how driven she is. She's absolutely driven. And you can only be that and become that if you have been through life. And we always talk about it, myself and her, that she had to walk the walk to get to where she is today. So I'm a very proud mom today. Very proud of her. I don't feel at any moment that she feels sorry for herself, but she needs to sometimes talk about things, let the tears flow, get it out of the system, and that's normal. We're all human, but I don't think she's ever caught up, why me, whatever. She's more in a positive light because she's done so many positive things. You know, with the Red Cross Association, she's established a fund for her mom. And in memory of her mom. She's done so many things that any mom can be proud of, and I know that her biological mom is looking down on her and very, very proud of her.
So now we find a situation where generally when people are not connected by blood and they have an argument or a disagreement and they're not happy about what the other one said, that they would simply walk away and the detachment will be there. Now, I'm sure there are times that you guys disagree about things and say, what's going on with this one? Does that, when that incident happens, and I'm sure it does, is it like she's going home or a bit upset like a normal child would be? Or is it, why am I putting up with this?
To be quite honest with you, we've never really had that sort of situation. yet. It might still happen because with moms and daughters it happens all the time. Haven't had that situation
yet.
You
deal with it like a mom and daughter?
Always. Always. That's the way you deal with your kids. You know, kids sulk and tomorrow they just come back and they say, hello mom, love you mom, and that. And Shahieda has a lot of respect. She was raised by her grandparents, and I think she got those values from the older generation. Brought up with respect, brought up with love. She's such a loving child. She's got so much love to give, and that is why I think I just fell in love with her as a mom.
So, if you're looking at her story, and we take one step back into her story, and we know that she has now not seen her mom from that point of view, that from a cognitive point of view, because that her passing happened when she was probably
a couple of months old.
Does she ever relate those stories to you? Does it come up? Does she talk about it? Do you guys reflect on it at all?
Yeah, we talk about it often. Often, I think sometimes she wants to just run something by me and say, Mom, what do you think about this? I thought about this today. I did this when she was busy with the Red Cross Fund. And I go back to the Red Cross Fund because to me that was such an amazing thing for a child to do. She's never seen her mom. But she also knows what sacrifices her mom did to bring her into this world.
Now, there's a very tricky situation somewhere. And the tricky situation, and you probably, if you don't want to answer this one, absolutely fine. But something that came to my mind all the time, and that was the very strange concept, and I think it's a metaphysics concept, where the Shahieda, she crosses paths with you because of the demise of her mother. So something positive happens out of what is seen as a negative to most people. Did it ever cross your mind that if a mom did not pass, you might have not crossed paths?
Yes, it does.
What do you think about when you think about that?
I think that I'm blessed.
I know it's a very strange question.
I still feel sorry for her loss because I don't think anybody wants to endure that. But I feel that nothing happens for no reason. That was the path that was chosen for her and for me, that we should cross each other's paths, and that I feel blessed.
I know your husband Ashraf is probably also watching the show. How does he take to having all these daughters?
He loves it. He loves having all his daughters. Shahida's kids, Lu'ay, Ruba and Duha, the two older ones, obviously. It's Ma and Pa, and we are the favorite Ma and Pa. And then they make sure that they tell me that I mustn't tell anybody else or the other grandparents that we are the favorite. And I thought, because they believe that we are the grandparents, they don't believe anything else.
Okay, so they're totally accustomed to you.
Yeah. And
they see you as grandparents.
We are the grandparents. They don't know where biological or non-biological fits in at all. To Ruba, especially the little girl that's 8 years old. She was 8 years old yesterday. I'm her grandmother, and I'm her favorite grandmother.
What I find also interesting is the fact that here we have Shahieda with her story, and that story is growing up without her biological mom, and then you're on that same path. You've experienced something similar.
Yeah.
And we haven't really discussed that, but I'm aware that that's the situation. Do you personally, do you find a parallel sometime in your life, or do you find a confusion at some point in your life where you sit back saying that I want to be there for Shahieda all the time, but does it not remind you of your own past?
No. I tell you why. It was completely different paths. I didn't grow up with my parents. I was raised by my grandparents. She didn't have a choice. Her mother passed on. So it's completely different paths. But the absence of the parents, that is exactly the same.
So does this mean that you relate to certain aspects? And although we acknowledge the presence of grandparents and we hail them for what they did, and we're pleased about what they did, but the absence of the actual parents is a scientific matter.
Yeah, it plays a role, and I think it played a bigger role in the past. But I think we're beyond that. I don't even think we think about it anymore.
Now that
neither Shahieda or myself. I don't know, I just have that feeling that we never think about it like that. I just feel that we have that bond, we have that relationship, that we don't even ponder on where, what, when. We just moved on from there.
Now that you've bonded and you see us as a daughter, what is it that, without her presence, that you want to tell her?
When she's not around, I wish I was a real mom. At times I do. I wish I was a real mom. I wish that I gave birth to her myself, and that I love her.
That's very interesting. So you, it's very interesting that you put yourself in that space, because that's an interesting space to be. I think that it speaks of continual commitment, and it speaks to a genuineness in you to do what you do. And I perhaps want to just go one step forward now, and let's tell us about some funny incidences. I'm trying to picture this father and daughter scene.
She's like, Mom, I have this problem. Mom.
So she'll come to you like a typical daughter.
Yeah, on the phone, and then we get down and just calm it down. Because she can be very dramatic. I think she's one of my most dramatic daughters.
Yeah, so there's always been around that time. Yeah. So what's your advice to other people that's probably watching the show, that maybe have attachments to children that are not their own, and take children that are not their own as their own? What's your advice to them?
If you do it openly, do it sincerely. Feel blessed. Just think that if you didn't have that person, that God or Allah has sent that person to you, how blessed are you? I feel so blessed. You can't believe it, Faizal. I sit with tears in my eyes. I sit with a lump in my throat, because I really feel and honestly feel blessed. There are people with no kids. I have 4 daughters, and then Shahieda comes along, and I have another daughter, and I have another 3 grandchildren. So how blessed am I not?
Can you imagine a time when Shahieda wasn't part of your operations?
Got to know each other slowly got to know her before she got married. She was a young girl. Like, for me, it feels so far away that it doesn't feel like there was a time that I did not know her. I don't know. I don't even think she knows this. I don't even think she realizes this. Sometimes she's busy, sometimes I'm busy, but we will always chat on WhatsApp, chat to each other. The kids will send voice notes and little messages, and so the bond and communication is always there.
In daily life, what I observed is that on the previous episode, is that Shahieda has gone 30 years on, but a part of that history still lingers with her and still comes up, and still one is able to bring up that emotions, meaning that runs very deep. Have you had a discussion about that on that level? What was that discussion like? We
do chat about it occasionally, and I think as we're going deeper into the fact that she's busy with a book now, that we are delving a little bit deeper and deeper into things. But she's always felt open to tell me anything. She would tell me anything, break down in front of me, cry. And she's also been through quite a bit with her health. Obviously, you know about her health as well. She's discussed that with you. She's been for a couple of operations in that time. I've been there with her babies. But basically, it just doesn't feel like even though we don't see each other every day, but it never feels like she's not part of me. I don't remember time that she wasn't part of me, even though it only happened because 13 years is not a long time. But yet it feels like a very long time for me.
13 years is a long time.
Yeah.
Because
for young people like you.
Yeah, correct. Yes. No. And if you look at the relationships and you look at the fact that when they're not biological relationships, and you say I know someone for 15 years, so closely. I mean, things happen with non-biological relationships, because you can easily detach them. If someone gives me a problem, you can easily walk away. But you can't easily walk away when it's family. And the fact that what I find amazing is that you crossed this realm of biology, non-biology, with non-biology. And it's interesting to me that there isn't a biological link, but the way you sound and the way she sounds is as if there is a biological link. And I think it bears testimony to the fact that sometimes, if you look in life, there are people with biological links, but they have no attachment. So what do you define attachment as? Is it driven by biological links or not? which is an interesting question for our viewers to actually ask.
And this, our relationship would probably prove the latter.
Correct, yes.
Yeah.
Nadia, thank you for coming on the show. It's been very inspiring. I know that Shahieda's got a book coming out hopefully soon, so we're going to catch up with that. I'm hoping that there are areas in the book that I'm going to read and find out more about and call you guys back on and say, you guys did not tell me about this. so
Probably.
Probably, yes. Thank you for coming on the show.
It's
Nadia
okay,
Jacobs,
thanks.
and she's talking about Shahieda Van Der Schyff, now daughter of 13 years, and in the previous episode you heard all about Shahieda and her very life-changing, life-defining moments, and a story of inspiration, something that we all need to sit back on, reflect and think about the things that we have in our life and the people that we take for granted. Until next time, goodbye.
And on my path, I met this most amazing woman ever. And you just know that two souls have met before. It was that type of experience. I'm not sure if she if she feels the same way though, but it really felt like that for me. And she helped me plan my wedding, which was the most amazing experience, because for every girl that's like your big day, that's your day. You need your mom, So she felt
That's
that.
right. So
yeah.
obviously she played that role.
Yeah, she did.
And so she's given you that sense of belonging
Definitely.
from the girl mother aspect.
Yes, and and not only that, there was one evening, I think I just got off the phone with her, and that's probably why she was on my mind, and I went to sleep that night, and I keep on telling the story because it means so much to me. I really dream about my mom. Usually when it happens, it's when I'm extremely stressed or just in a very, very bad place, and I literally have to focus on it, to literally like asking, mommy, come to me in my sleep type of thing. So this was a very, very pleasant dream. And my mom always is very, I can't say happy, but she's got a very pleasant smile on her face, naturally, whenever
Sort of
I
at
see
peace
her.
kind of thing.
Yeah, whenever. This dream, she was like elated. She was so happy. And we embrace each other. And out of nowhere comes Nadia. Just out of nowhere. In my dream, I'm actually saying to myself, oh, okay, you're visiting us type of thing. And with my mom not saying anything, she never said anything. She just took Nadia's hand and she placed it together.
And you saw the symbolism in that?
I did.
Was that for you a culmination of something? Was it the message that you're in the right hands? And then what did you do after that? Did you that affirm that Nadia was a person that...
It wasn't only the fact that my mom put our hands together, but it was the look on Nadia's face when it happened. It's very hard to explain.
Of course. So I want to take you one step forward, so that we just take you slightly out of that. And I know there's a lot that you're reflecting on, and we appreciate that you're sincerely reflecting on all of that. What's your thoughts of Nadia today?
We've come a long way. She's been part of so many things. My kids' lives, they see her as they are, and she's just really taken that point.